Lefty here with the early market report for Tuesday, June 1st. Hope everyone had a good long weekend and is rested and ready to attack this week. It's the first of the month, fresh start. Let's start this month off right, set some goals and smash them. Got a little project for you guys. If you don't track the bets you make, try it out for this month. Keep track of every bet you make, either with a pen or paper, Google Sheet, or even one of the bet tracking apps. Tracking your bets, in my opinion, is extremely helpful. For a bunch of different reasons. I actually did a lesson on this topic back in October, record keeping and bet tracking. It's in the Betting Network Discord community, so check that out. Another helpful lesson for right now at this point in the year for baseball is the Pythagorean Theory. Now, it sounds fancy, but it's really simple. Basically just uses teams' run differential and current record to predict future performances. I break it down in detail within that lesson and how to calculate it. So make sure to check that out. And speaking of run differential, why I suggest learning the Pythagorean Theory right now in baseball, we're in that sweet spot. And what I mean by that, there's enough games that have been played so far. Most teams have played roughly 50-something games already, which gives us a solid sample size to use. But there's still over 100 games left in the season for us to capitalize on the sample size we have. And like I said, Pythagorean Theory uses run differential as a way to predict a team's future performance based on if they're overperforming or underperforming. So if we look here at the run differential column, and all this is really it combines number of runs a team has scored and allowed. So if we look at a team like the White Sox, they get a plus 80 run differential. So they've scored 80 more runs than they have allowed. And no surprise, they're in first place in the Central Division. And they have one of the best records in baseball. But if we look at a team like, let's say, Oakland, all right, they have a minus 11 run differential. So they've allowed 11 more runs than they've scored, but somehow they're in first place in the AL West, ahead of the Astros, who have a plus 57 run differential. So without even running like the Pythagorean numbers on this, for Oakland, we know they're a team that's due for some regression. Their minus 11 run differential tells a lot about their season so far. We can assume they've won a lot of close one-run games. And in baseball, one run can be the difference of anything. It could be such a small difference of one bad call from an ump, a hit that just misses the, outfielder's glove and just finds the gap. So in other words, it's safe to say Oakland has benefited from a lot of luck or breaks have gone their way so far. And over the course of 162 games, it's unlikely that's going to continue. Now, it's not impossible, and we can't predict the future, obviously, but what we're looking for is what's more likely and what's less likely to happen. And there's a lot of interesting teams we can look at, too. Like, what's another good one? A team like Miami. They have a plus 10 run differential with a losing record. The Brewers even, they're negative 12 with run differential with a winning record and actually only a game and a half behind the Cubs for the Central Division. Take a look at run differential and more importantly the Pythagorean Theory. It's pretty interesting. But let's get into the games here. All right, so first up, we got the Phillies and Reds. Looks like Reds are getting all the early action here. 77% of the money line bets, 94% of the money line money there. Looks like the lines flipped a little. Philly opened minus 110 here at Chris. Now Cincy's minus 110, which makes sense with all the early action Cincy's getting. I'm a fan of Nola and Gray. I like both starters here. And I really like Cincy's offense, even though they go cold sometimes, but I really like them, especially at home. And hate both bullpens for these teams, too. What's the total looking like? A little bit of over action. We see Pinnacles up from 7 to 7.5. Chris is staying at 7, but it's juiced to the over. That's basically 7.5. My thought would be the over, but it's a game where I think in order for it to go over, since he's going to have to put up 5 or 6 themselves, because I don't trust the Philly bats. But what else we got? Let's go to Washington, Atlanta. Hotlanta with lopsided money here, 91% of the money. But it's not getting respect on the line. Pinnacle opened 141. They're down to 134. Washington, to me, at plus 125 seems interesting. Seems like that would be a good play. Washington can hit lefty pitching. But I'm pretty sure Atlanta has really good career numbers against Strasburg. They've faced him a ton of times, and they always seem to hit him up. Maybe an over spot here. Pinnacles opened 8, and they're up to 8.5. Chris has the over juiced. Pretty sure the Braves top end of their bullpen is taxed too. I feel like they've pitched a couple straight days. This seems like a Nats and over spot for me here. The dog and over. Let's move right along here. No data. Let's go down to White Sox Indians. Shy Sox early money here. 94% of the money. Looks like that's forcing the line down too. Pinnacle opened Cleveland 147. They're down to 141. Chris is down 8 cents. Bieber's already faced the White Sox twice this season, I'm pretty sure. And I want to say he shut them down in both games. Or I know he did the first meeting, actually. I think in the second meeting he gave up a couple runs, but this kind of feels like an underplay. We don't have any under money data here. But Dylan Cease is definitely good enough to keep the Indians' bats quiet. 70% of the bets are on the over. We can't see the money yet, which is common this early. Not all the data has fully rolled in yet. But I do lean under here. Both bullpens are strong. This one has a feel of like a 3-1 or 4-1 final. Not sure who wins, but that's what I could see for the outcome there. Let's see. Twinkies, O's. No surprise here. Minnesota getting all the early bets and money. Nobody's betting the Orioles. Line hasn't budged, though. Pinnacle opened 165, and they're still pretty much right there. And Chris, same thing for them. Only way I could play this one is Twins minus 1.5. There's no way I'm laying 170. I do like the Twins against left-handed pitching, though. And Baltimore can't hit right-handed pitching, so they did go. These two teams went to extra innings in yesterday's game, but Berrios went deep. I think he went 8 innings, maybe. So the Twins' bullpen is rested, and I like them. They're good enough to hold any late leads there, but it would be Minnesota run line for me in this one. What else we got here? Let's skip down to, I like this pitching matchup here. Alcantara, Robbie Ray. Wow, surprising Miami's getting 83% of the money. I wasn't expecting that. Two solid starters here. Like both Sandy Alc and Robbie Ray. Total's interesting. Over's getting some money. Actually, this game's going to be played in Buffalo at that Saline Field. Toronto played their home games there last year. They've been playing their home games this year in Florida at TD Park. Not sure why they're switching back to Buffalo, but last year in Buffalo there was some high-scoring games at this field, but I can't remember if it was weather-related or that impact that, or if it was just the dimensions of the park. I want to say the park's small. I'll have to look more into that before messing with the total. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop it here. Hopefully, you guys got something out of this. Basically, just blabbed for 10 minutes. Not even sure if I said anything of value, but oh well. That's it for this one. I'm going back to bed now. I'll see you guys in the Discord community in a few hours and see what we can come up with for today. Have a great Tuesday.